Justin Herbert has always had elite talent, but talent was never the real issue. This season, the Chargers are changing how he is used, and that change could unlock an MVP-level version of him. Justin Herbert's career has never lacked talent. From the moment he stepped onto an NFL field, the arm strength was undeniable. The size was ideal. The poise was rare for a young quarterback. And yet, year after year, the same question followed him. Why does it still feel like we have not seen the best version of Justin Herbert yet? The Los Angeles Chargers have lived inside that question for several seasons. They have watched Herbert post massive yardage totals, absorb relentless pressure, and carry an offense that often felt dependent on his ability to survive broken plays rather than thrive within structure. The numbers were impressive, but the results never fully matched the potential. Close losses, missed opportunities, seasons that ended earlier than they should have. That is why the arrival of Mike McDaniel as the new offensive coordinator matters so much. This is not just another coaching change, this is a philosophical shift. A recalibration of how Justin Herbert is viewed, used, and ultimately unleashed. In a recent interview, McDaniel made something very clear. He does not believe Herbert has peaked. In fact, he believes Herbert has not even come close to reaching his ceiling. That belief is not built on hype or surface-level traits. It is rooted in details that have been overlooked, underused, and at times misunderstood. McDaniel spoke about Herbert's capabilities in a way that immediately stood out. He did not focus first on arm strength or highlight throws. Instead, he talked about efficiency, processing, movement, and adaptability. He talked about skills that rarely make highlight reels but win football games consistently. For years, Herbert has been forced into a reactive style of play. He has been asked to diagnose collapsing pockets, evade pressure, and make throws under constant duress. While that showcased his toughness and improvisational ability, it also masked some of his most valuable traits. One of those traits is his ability to control a game before chaos ever appears. According to McDaniel, Herbert's underrated skill is not his arm. It is his intelligence within structure, his ability to read leverage, anticipate windows, and deliver the ball on time. These are MVP-caliber traits when paired with the right system. They are also the traits that have been inconsistently supported throughout Herbert's career. The Chargers' offense in recent seasons often relied on Herbert to be the solution rather than the centerpiece of a solution. Protection schemes broke down, route combinations lacked spacing. Play calling frequently asked Herbert to wait rather than attack. That environment forced him to be heroic, but hero ball is rarely sustainable across an entire season. McDaniel's vision is different. He wants Herbert operating within rhythm. He wants decisions made earlier. He wants completions that feel easy. Not because Herbert lacks the ability to push the ball downfield, but because efficiency compounds over time. When a quarterback is not constantly absorbing hits or scrambling for survival, his game sharpens. In the interview, McDaniel emphasized quarterback health as a priority. This was not framed as caution, it was framed as optimization. Protecting Herbert is not about limiting him, it is about preserving him. Fewer hits mean clearer reads. Clearer reads mean faster decisions. Faster decisions mean sustained drives. One of the most intriguing parts of this discussion centers on Herbert's mobility. For years, his movement outside the pocket was treated as an emergency response rather than a feature. The bolt beat analysis highlighted that Herbert's rushing and scrambling ability has often been dismissed or overlooked. Yet, when used intentionally, it becomes a weapon. Herbert is not a running quarterback in the traditional sense. He is not built around constant designed runs. But his ability to move the pocket, reset his platform, and pick up critical yards changes how defenses must align. When that mobility is part of the plan rather than the backup plan, it stresses coverage rules and opens throwing lanes. McDaniel understands this. He has seen firsthand how controlled movement can elevate a quarterback. The goal is not to turn Herbert into something he is not. The goal is to remove the restraints that have forced him into survival mode. Another key point McDaniel addressed was Herbert's mindset. In their first conversations, McDaniel described Herbert as hungry, motivated, ready for evolution. This matters more than fans often realize. Quarterbacks who believe they have already proven themselves often resist change. Herbert appears to welcome it. There is also an emotional element to this shift. Herbert has carried the weight of expectations without the consistent support of results. That burden builds. When games are lost by one score repeatedly, confidence does not disappear, but frustration accumulates. A new offensive identity offers a reset. This is where the MVP conversation enters. MVP seasons are not just about stats, they are about command. They are about making the game feel slower than it should. When Herbert is operating inside a system that amplifies his strengths rather than compensates for weaknesses elsewhere, his production becomes more efficient and more impactful. McDaniel made it clear that he wants Herbert making fewer impossible plays because he will not need to. That is not an indictment of Herbert's past performances. It is an acknowledgement that no quarterback should have to operate at the edge of chaos to succeed. The Chargers' offense under McDaniel is expected to emphasize spacing, timing, and adaptability. That means more quick decisions, more defined reads, more situations where Herbert can trust what he sees and act without hesitation. Those are the moments where great quarterbacks separate from good ones. There is also a psychological shift that comes with this approach. When a quarterback knows the system will protect him, confidence grows. That confidence shows up in footwork, in anticipation, and in leadership. Herbert has always been respected in the locker room. Now he has the opportunity to command the offense fully. Critics may point out that Herbert has had talented receivers before. They may argue that scheme alone cannot transform outcomes. That argument misses the point. This is not about reinvention. It is about alignment, about finally matching elite talent with an offense built to showcase it consistently. McDaniel's role is not to control Herbert. It is to empower him, to remove friction, to design an offense where Herbert does not have to choose between aggression and safety, where smart football and explosive football coexist. The underrated skills McDaniel referenced are the foundation of that vision. Herbert's processing speed, his accuracy on intermediate throws, his ability to manipulate defenders with his eyes. These traits rarely dominate headlines, but they define MVP seasons. If this approach succeeds, Herbert's resurgence will not feel sudden. It will feel inevitable. Fans will look back and realize the talent was always there. What changed was the environment. The upcoming season represents a turning point, not because expectations are higher, but because the path is clearer. Herbert is no longer being asked to carry the offense through chaos. He is being asked to conduct it. That distinction matters. When the ball is snapped next season, the Chargers' offense will reflect McDaniel's fingerprints, but at its core, it will belong to Justin Herbert. The quarterback who has waited patiently for the structure that matches his ability, the quarterback who may finally show the league what MVP caliber football looks like when preparation meets purpose. This is not about hype, it is about fit. And if Mike McDaniel is right, the version of Justin Herbert we are about to see will feel both familiar and entirely new.